Google Tour Builder is an engaging way to show someone where things occurred in a story, in history, or in your own life by using Google Maps. This video is a quick overview of how to create a Google tour using this web-based tool. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to this URL, open a new tab and type tourbuilder.withgoogle.com, and then you will click on this blue button to the right that says sign in. Most likely it's going to ask for your password. So go ahead and type that in. I'm using my daughter's account to show you what it's like on a Chromebook. And then you can check in the right corner here to make sure that it's your email address, and that will tell you if you logged in appropriately. The next thing you're going to do is click on Create a Tour, which is this red button in the middle of the screen. It's going to ask you to title it. I'm just going to do a basic one about my trip to the Columbus Zoo. You could have it be your book title, or maybe just something from history that you want to put there as your title. But you can change that at any time when you're editing it. You can add a photo to your introduction here. You can either upload photos that you've already saved to your device, and you would just select them from your computer, or you can search for images on Google. But make sure that if you are using images that are not your own, that you are citing your source and telling others where you got your information from and giving credit to those authors. So once you choose your image, you select it, and it would go right here in this box. Also, there is a description part, so you can type as much as you want here. I'm just going to say my trip to the Columbus Zoo. And that's all I'm going to put for my introduction. The next thing you need to do, though, is to add the location. So I'm going to actually start my trip from Delaware, because that's where I live and that's where I drove from to get there. Delaware, Ohio. I'm going to add Delaware to the tour. And then I can also add photos and videos here as well. You can add the dates if you'd like to, if you know a specific date. And then you can also talk about this location. I'm just going to say this is Delaware, Ohio, where my story begins. You can also change the icon. So instead of this red icon, you can change it to maybe you took a plane from there. Maybe you were on a helicopter. Maybe you were riding a bike. Any of these is fine. I'm going to actually change it to a car because I took a car. I drove my car there. And then that's it. Another thing about this is once you've found your location and add it, you can zoom in as far as you'd like. And you can even zoom into the street view if you'd like. So I'm just going to go right over here. And even though this is not my house, just for time's sake, I'm going to say that we are going to lock this view. So I just want to show that this is part of the city of Delaware. So once you've chosen how deep you want to go in the map, you lock the view, and this is what it will be in your tour. So when I hovered over that, it says save the current view for this tour location, which means it's going to zoom in this far when I start the story. So that's saved, and I'm going to go to our next location, which I went directly to the Columbus Zoo. So I'm going to type in Columbus Zoo and add that to the tour. And I'm going to zoom in just a little bit on the Columbus Zoo. I'm going to lock this view. That's how far I want it to go. I can add photos here. I can add a date. I can add a description. And then I'm going to add one more location just to show you an example of zooming in further. I'm going to add Columbus Zoo and Aquarium again, add it to the tour, and I'm actually going to see if it will let me do a street view. And there are little spots here, so I'm going to go here and do the street view. And you can see that they did the street view during when there was the lights, people were actually there. It's kind of funny. It's kind of neat to see this zoomed in. But this is during the holiday season that they did the street view in the zoo, which I think is kind of cool. So I'm going to lock this view, and I'm going to tell my audience about this location. These are the zoo lights. And that's all I'm going to do for this one. It does save automatically, but make sure every now and then that you do save it. I'm going to click Done Editing because I would like to see it, what it looks like from the full view screen. So even if you choose Done Editing, you can still go back and edit it. To go back to edit it, you'll go to these 3 lines and you can actually choose Edit again. But I'm going to go ahead and play full screen so you can see what it looks like when you go through the whole tour. So I'm going to go back to number 1 here. And I called it My Trip to the Columbus Zoo. It kind of shows you an overview of the map. And I'm going to hit Next. This is Delaware, Ohio, where my story begins. And you can see that it did zoom in on Delaware and then finally went to the street view. The next place is the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium, and this is kind of just almost like a helicopter view of what it would look like if you were seeing the zoo. And then my next stop was still at the zoo, but it was zoomed in even further so you could see the street view of the lights that they had taken at that time. So this is just an overview again of how to use Google Tour Builder. If you have any questions, of course, you can see me. But hopefully you will enjoy using this, and it's and how simple it is to use. After you create your tour, your teacher would also like you to use Screencastify on your Chromebook to record your tour and explain it to the students. So that'll be another thing to do on if you decide to use Tour Builder. I hope you enjoyed this, and good luck, and be as creative as you like, because I know how creative that middle school students are. So I'm excited to see your final products.